Good morning, everyone. Welcome to American Scousers Morning Coffee or Tea with American Scouser on a Thursday morning. And yes, he's in the house. Daffy is here. And Coffee is here, and Travis is here. What's happening?
Oh man, good morning. I am so excited to be here to talk Liverpool Football Club every Thursday. It's an incredibly exciting thing. And Adri's back.
And Audrey is back.
Eh,
Audrey is back with glasses. What's happening?
I didn't die. I didn't. I almost. You wish, guys. I'm kidding. I was super sick. I feel like missing this is like missing school, so I'm showing you my medicine.
We need a permission slip, proof, doctor's note.
Yeah, bring a doctor's note. I should actually make
Absolutely.
that for the other contributors. Bring
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
doctor's note when they miss a
Yeah.
show.
Oh, we have to. No, I had strep throat and yeah, penicillin and all that stuff. I thought it was just a cold. Timo thought it was just a cold, actually. He just minimized my pain and my
That's what he said.
suffering.
He
I
said
was
you
playing the role
had
of the principal because she sent me a photo. She's like, I don't think I can make it. And she sent me a photo of like the thermometer. And it's like, it's only was like 38.1. And I'm like, that's
Yeah.
nothing, man. Like 36 and a half and 37 is normal. So 38.1, I was just taking aspirin. I'll see you in the morning. But I guess it didn't turn out like that.
Yeah, horrible. And I actually I thought it was gonna be tonsillitis, whatever. And I told Timo, and he was like, "Oh, hopefully not." No, it was worse. It was strep throat. But yeah, you'll be fine. It's just a strep throat. Whatever. I'm fine. A little raspy, so pardon me. But like, I'm good and
yeah.
ready to talk about Liverpool and the international break and everything.
I was gonna say you should be happy, I would think. So we've never talked with you guys about this international break ordeal. I know a lot of us are like happy that it's out of the way and then we can get back to Liverpool business and stuff like that. Travis, I'll start with you because I kind of know where Audrey is, but I want to ask Audrey something totally different because I know how hardcore she is with the
Oh,
Colombian national team.
ooh,
How invested are you in the US team, Travis? Or is that the team
ooh.
you root for?
Well, first, I mean, I will always follow the U.S. team, and you have to. It's where I'm from. My One of my number one teams is actually the Egypt national team,
Really?
and yes, I've been following them for a couple decades now. One of my
Wow.
closest, nearest, and dearest friends, Mohammed Diab, is an Egyptian filmmaker. He and one of the best human beings I've ever known in my life. But he introduced me to the Egypt national team back in 2004, and I have been following them ever since. They're this close to qualifying. They should have qualified against Burkina Faso.
Ooh.
Um, and unfortunately, Marmouche got injured, so that's gonna be it's gonna be a hit. But they really just need a win. They need a win to get in. They should be able to get it with their closing one. But as far as the U.S. team goes, man, it is hard to it is hard. It might be the most surprising and inconsistent team in football today, the U.S. men's
Yeah.
national team. It is a team where you could argue that they could compete with the top teams in the world and also lose to North Caledonia, and you could make a case for either one. And
Mm.
so credit to every single US fan that's out there that has followed this team, heck or high water. But I think I don't know, it's you look at this performance against Japan, and then the performance against Korea. What two wildly different teams. I
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe the two. I don't know what to think about this team. I think I have them figured out one week and then they do something different the following week.
I have to say, it feels like they're kind of they're consistently inconsistent. I think it just almost like feels like they gather at the park, roll the ball out, and be like, "Oh, let's go play." And some days it goes great, some days it doesn't. But it's not a good recipe for winning anything, obviously.
No.
Mm.
So, Audrey, here's my question to you because I know
Yeah.
you like very passionately follow the Colombian national
Oh
team,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
So my question to you is because over the years, I feel like the level I follow the Turkish team kind of has changed because obviously I root for Turkey, and I like
Yeah,
follow them closely and stuff like that. But
yeah,
question, because I know over time, growing up, all the guys on the Turkish national team played in Turkey, right?
yeah.
It was like you ended up having to almost semi root for a guy you despise because he played for Galatasaray or Besiktas or something like that.
Mhm.
But oh, now I feel like that's kind of totally gone, where everybody's playing all over the place. So, what was the team you root for in Colombia? You told us last time. I forgot.
Millonarios.
Okay, so when you root for the national team, do you find it difficult to root for a dude who's playing in the Colombian national team, but 2 weeks ago you just despised him because he was playing against your boys?
Um, you know what? Like talking about Colombia, it's totally different. Because I that was like my first hook to football in general, you know? So I have such a special and deep connection with that team too. Totally different with Liverpool because this is like I fall in love when, it's when when you finally fall in love with the good guy and you're just mature and you choose wisely and you know that person probably have a couple of mistakes but won't break your heart. That's Liverpool for me, kind of, but Colombia is like the bad guy. So for me, it's really hard to see like the dark spots in that team, even with the situation with Lucho. And I'm just realizing this talking to you guys, because I no, I didn't feel any like um like about the situation of Lucho leaving the team, but I gotta say he wasn't in his best condition for the past two games with Colombia, for sure. And you could see him like kind of struggling for
Hmm,
some reason. I don't know if he's trying to, it is the fact that he's trying to adapt himself to Bayern or what, but he was no, absolutely, but he was kind of lost.
really?
And his performance wasn't the greatest at all. So, that being said, I was kind of like, huh, interesting. Like, there
Well,
you go.
sometimes it's your surroundings, it's the competition, all that kind of stuff too. And
Mhm.
like you say, he's going to I mean, for anybody, we kind of like underestimate the difference it makes. Anybody who's traveled and lived in a different country and stuff like that, it's a
Mm.
huge freaking adjustment. Doesn't matter
Oof,
if you
yeah.
have your private chefs or whatever. Either way, it's a freaking adjustment. So I think like we kind of like look past that sometimes when, especially like, I mean, these are young people. I mean,
Yeah.
Audrey is young too, but like,
I'm
and
super
Travis, you're
young.
definitely young.
I'm super young.
Super
Stop.
young. Okay, we'll go with that. So we don't ask ladies their age. But yeah, I mean, I mean, like these are like literally kids. They're like 21, 22, 23-year old kids sometimes going to a different country, different culture. You have to give them like the benefit of the doubt, like the adjustment. Lucho is not that young, mind you, and he has
No.
moved
It's
countries before.
28, if I'm not wrong. Something
Yeah,
like that.
20 or 29, right?
9,
He is. So
29,
he's like
29,
late
29.
20s. But he's been to Portugal, he's been to England, so it's semi more used to changing
Mhm.
countries and leagues and stuff like that. Yeah, that's odd. I mean, it could be just form or it could
Yeah.
be just like him. But you guys qualified, right?
We did like first game. First game. We had two. The last
Yeah.
one was against Venezuela. We won 6-3, and it was super sad because Venezuela was just waiting for the
Oh,
playoffs and they were depending on themselves, nobody else. And they need two weird things to happen, one weird thing to happen. And it was like Brazil getting beat by Bolivia.
Yeah,
And
I saw that.
and that happened. And they lost against us and they never lost in their house, in home, in the entire qualifiers. But they decided to lose the last game, man, 6-3.
Yikes.
So that's why I'm saying it was kind of sad this last game because everyone was so confused, like, what's going on? Even like our last goal, we didn't celebrate. It was like, oh,
It's like
sorry.
awkward. Good luck to you
Sorry,
guys.
sorry. Good
We're
luck to you
leaving.
guys. Yeah.
Well, it's not as sad as Turkey getting pummeled by Spain like 6-0 at home, but they did beat Georgia away, which they're going for second in that group when you're with
Mhm.
Spain. Don't even
How
get
is
me started
Turkey?
on how Turkey has to play a bazillion good teams to qualify, and some teams can play like two other teams. We got to move continents or whatever we got to do. But let's get at least the international break is out of the way. Yeah, it's stuffy. Pretty much. That's how Turkey was too, and it sounds like
Yeah.
that's how Venezuela was as well. But okay,
Yeah.
let's get to business on hand. Liverpool. Travis,
Mhm.
I'll start with you. Like, one, do you think what these guys do during their international break in terms of like performance and stuff like that affect the league? And if it does, give me one player that you think, hey, you know what? He had a great international break. This will translate over to the league.
Ooh, so I mean, it absolutely impacts how. I mean, injuries and extra play time aside, you can say that there's positives, there's definitely negatives to the international break, but there's without question, I think there's one player who got a boost, or at least we saw a boost from, and that's Ibra. That's Ibrahim Konate. His
Mm,
his match were against Iceland, where they go down a man, and it really fell on him at the back to get France through that game, and they managed that 2-1 victory, but Konate was a huge part of that, and it had to be an immense confidence booster for Ibra with going down a man. I mean, Iceland is not a bad team, not by a long shot, and if it were not for where he was, his positioning, his headers he was winning, everything, I think France might have drawn or lost that game. And it has to be a huge confidence builder for him coming back, especially when there was, a lot of criticism at the start of the season. He had a solid match against Arsenal. And now I think he's going to come back with some momentum with the red side. And I'm really looking forward to it.
How about you there, Audrey? I mean, do you think it makes a difference? Because we were just talking about Lucho, for example, right? Like, I mean, he's doing fine in
yeah.
Bayern when he's playing over there. Like, it's a totally different game. Some of these guys play a totally different position and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Konate, I will agree with. I'm sure Real Madrid might be pleased to see that. But I mean, do you think it makes a difference how these guys do in their like while they're away, or is it just almost like a not a vacation, but
No,
it's like a
no,
mini break?
yeah. Yeah, definitely, definitely. As Travis said, it is like it could be a confident booster or a completely mess, you know? In the South American case with South American players, I was watching, for example, we have two cases. The first one was Moises Caicedo.
Mm.
He got there's like this new rule of FIFA that if you have a yellow card and like if in this last game you got another yellow card, then red card and you're missing the first game of the World Cup.
Oh,
That
okay.
happened to him. So he's like the best player in Ecuador, obviously, and he will miss the first game of the World Cup. And you could see him like clearly like devastated, you know?
Yeah.
So probably that's gonna have some impact on his performance, whatever. And in our case with Maca, right now Argentina is just he they were qualified like long time ago, you know, so he was just like having fun, and even he posted a reel with about this last game against Ecuador, which they lost actually 1-0, with Piero Incapié from Arsenal.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
That was hilarious. So he was, for him, for example, for a player like him, it's just about like having fun, and um it was Messi's farewell or whatever. So he's coming refreshed and more. distant. I don't know if that's a word. Distensionado, like distant, like like
Mhm.
yeah, ready to go. In our case, for Lucho, for example, Moises Caicedo, the story could be different. So I think the impact definitely it's important in the international break for the Premier Leagues and any player.
Yeah, because it changes from guy to guy. Like for a guy like McAllister, it's probably more about fitness, getting some minutes and
Yeah.
being comfortable. You could kind of tell in the last couple of games he just was not himself and stuff. But and then yeah, if you're coming back from an injury and all that kind of stuff. So like it does vary from player to player. Sometimes I wonder though, like where you, especially if you're like either not getting minutes and you go over there
Mhm.
and you play. I don't know. It's almost even worse. You're like, I could do this back there too if I was getting minutes. I just wonder like what goes through a player's mind because you're going somewhere totally different and doing like different things in a different formation. Maybe you have a different role. The
Mhm.
role is a huge thing. I mean, we have guys. I mean, probably not the best example in terms of, international affecting his regular, but let's think of a guy like Ando, for example. He's a
Yeah.
captain on one side, like, in Japan, whereas he's like a role player who comes off the bench occasionally on one side. So different roles and all that kind of stuff. But let's get to the game. Actually, hold on. Let's talk about this real quick. I don't even know. Like, I kind of saw that. So I don't know how the chat feels about this too. But Chelsea being charged with a breach of rules.
Oh yeah, I saw
Where
that.
have we seen this before, Travis, where it doesn't amount to anything? So, like, when I see something like this, normally you would think you'd be like, oh, snap, or gasp, or something like that. But I'll be honest, I saw it this morning and I was like, and nothing will come out of this.
Well, oh my
Plus, it's
gosh.
old. That's another thing.
I mean, okay, it's Abramovich, and it feels like it was years and years and years ago where when he came in, we were like, okay, well, there might be some shady stuff. We got to keep an eye on Chelsea. And then there didn't seem to be much going on, even though he dropped a crazy amount of money on the team. And, legal, fair or not, it was a lot of cash and it made a huge impact. It was one of the big reasons that Chelsea became so competitive, but it covers a massive amount of time. It's 74 charges. It's over the course of 13 years.
Yeah.
And the Man City charges really discourages a lot of people because it's taking so long. But the fact is the Man City charges are still being pursued. We actually saw a step forward just last week when Man City's challenge against one of the sponsorship rules was kicked out by the court, which would have dismissed a chunk of their charges. And they said, absolutely not. These are legit. And so the case is moving forward. Man City,
but they kind of settled. That's to me, see, when I see that, I did not take that as a good sign. I took that as a bad sign. I took that as, you know what, we'll settle this and then we'll settle something over here, is the way I saw that in terms of like how it came about. Like they agreed on something. So that's what worries me about the City thing. And, how long it's been for something that was recent. It's old now because it took so long. Whereas this Chelsea thing is actually really old. And from days, I'm assuming, like, I didn't read the full thing because, like I said, I saw it this morning right before coming on air. But it's a lot about like agent fees and stuff like that. That was probably gone through Russian mafia or something at the time. So.
No, there's a big difference. And I want to go back on that Man City thing because it is an absolute positive in the right direction, because the settlement was that Man City didn't have to pay anything, but they had to accept in court that the rules were valid. And because they've accepted that the rules were valid, now the case can be brought against them that they violated those rules. So it's a huge legal advantage for those chasing after Man City. It is definitely a step in the right direction. I will say Man City does have literally the highest priced, most expensive lawyers and legal team in the world. This is why it's so drawn out, because it's literally the most expensive lawyers money can buy. And so they're going to do everything possible. And like this one challenge to this rule stretched it out 2 to 3 years. Now that that's done, they can move on to the next one. I will say Chelsea is being presumably transparent. That's supposedly the difference, is that Chelsea is providing all this information. They're putting everything out there. And again, yes, I just read about it this morning, so I'm learning as well too.
They
So, Audrey,
self-report
I'll ask
themselves,
you
right?
because I'm a cynical old bastard. Since you're the young one, Audrey, because like I don't see anything coming out of these. I just call me like, yeah, it's age makes you more cynical than ever. So, since you're the young one, do you see anything coming out of this Chelsea thing? But even before that, I guess the City thing.
No, 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 nothing. I just honestly, I just read something about it this morning too, like pretty superficial, and I was like, oh man. But it was curious the fact that they self-report themselves,
Mm.
that will never happen in another league, or it's that
Yeah.
that's curious, and that's kind of like gives us some hope in this fair play situation, as a fans, as fans, like what we can expect from this league at least. That was my first thought. In Colombia, forget it. Of course, in South
Yeah, I
America
think
in
we're kind of
general,
like
like.
same thing with Turkey. Like you're going to a totally different extreme though. So
Yeah, yeah, that's why I wanted to keep it just for the league. But then I was like, okay, yeah, my mind went to Colombia and it was like, no, stop. you
but I
know
mean, here's the thing, they're already figuring out the other ways with these other clubs. Chelsea's selling to their sister club and stuff like that. So uh, is there really a lot of hope on this? Eventually the big guys are going to obviously going to have more money coming in,
yeah.
but does it open the door for somebody like Newcastle where they can actually start going out and spending money now that they see, like this is what we got to do? I almost feel like these cases, if anything, does some troubleshooting for the guys who are trying to get into this. They were like, okay, so don't do this, but do it this way. Don't do that, do it this way. And then, you have your formula for doing things. Like I say, I'm a cynical old bastard, so that's how I look at it.
If you want to, well, you want to get into the cynical side. So here's the real kicker. 3 days ago, Roman Abramovich gets charged by Jersey, and all this money laundering information comes out. So that he bribed a bunch of people in the 90s, selling one company into another in Russia. And then all of a sudden, a couple days later, a bigger story from his club comes out. They've decided to self-report all these rules just as he's about to be investigated for money laundering. So you know what? I don't want to be the cynical one here, but I am not about to say, oh, Chelsea, how honorable that they found this and came forward. No, 3 days ago, your owner's getting hit with a pretty serious criminal investigation. They're like, okay, you know what? We need to air out all of our dirty laundry now because it's going to come out in the wash. And so I think what comes of it, I don't know. I would like to think, considering that the Man City one is still in progress, I would like to. This Chelsea one doesn't seem as serious because again, it does involve most of it is payments to a third party in the recruitment of a player, and so it's not as serious as the financial fair play rules.
Yeah,
Man City
that's not
violated,
City.
but Abramovich could be in more serious trouble. So
Jimbo says as long as we're not can Abramovich get in more trouble, but I mean, he'll find a way out of trouble as long as we're not involved. See, the thing I worry about it is, and I do agree with Jimbo in a sense, but the thing I worry about is right now. Well, first of all, the people who are cheating, I mean, aside from City, but all the shadiness that's being happening, it doesn't look like it's affecting us because we're still doing well. But I think if, let's say the things were not going as well with us, Adri, in terms of how Liverpool is doing, these would bug us more. I kind of want fans to be more offended now. You know what? I'm probably as old as your grandma, so there's maybe that's part of it. But I don't know, like Audrey, that's my thing. I feel like you don't want to kind of like look away the other way because it doesn't affect us now. Because I think we will be more offended if things are not going our way and these guys doing all these shady things are winning stuff in front of our eyes. Whereas, who's Stevie? Oh yeah, I don't know.
It's Stevie his medal. It does affect us. It does affect us.
Why
So where you?
explain
I
me
mean,
that?
Audrey, do you get
Explain me that.
offended, or are you on the same thing as
Ex-
Jimbo is saying? If it's not Liverpool, whatever, we just move on. We do our things our way and move on.
yeah. Can you guys explain me that?
So, Man City's, if you take away the impact that Man City's, the money they put in, the FPA rules violations, they should be getting a points deduction because they unfairly won the league. When Steven Gerrard was on our side, we would have won the league if Man City had not violated rules and put players on that shouldn't have been there.
Oh,
Give Stevie his medal. Okay, I know obviously it's a huge, far, crazy reach.
Yours is a stretch.
I stand by it. Why not? I give Stevie his medal. He deserves one. I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll take it off of Pep's shoulders. Just give me the chance. Fly me out.
And I think that's the problem. Doesn't matter now. Like, it's gone. I keep saying this. We were just talking about this with my brother on Rival Bros. That it doesn't matter. Like, even if they went and punished, even if they gave Stevie his medal to the extreme scenario, it doesn't matter. Like, those moments have been taken away from us. In terms of like the moments we had last season when we beat Spurs and the last day of the season and stuff like that. Those are moments. As a fan, you're living those moments. If I came back, okay, not to rub salt to the wound, for example, Audrey, but like when Colombia lost in the final, right? So if I come back now and I'm like, sorry, I didn't mean to rub it in, but I feel like it's a good example. If I go back now and they're like, oh, like Argentina had this guy who should not have been playing, or was it Argentina they lost, right?
in the final?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So if they came back, for example, and said, oh, Argentina should not have had this guy playing because he was suspended, whatever, right? And they said, so Colombia, therefore, is now the winner. It doesn't have the same thing. You lost that moment of winning right there, right then. So these punishments that come like 5 years later, 6 years later, does not bring you back those moments. Yeah, maybe it's justice. You throw the numbers on the wall. But as fans, those moments are stolen from you one way or the other.
No, I understand. I remember now that you mentioned that, for example, Ecuador, they started the qualifiers from the beginning with less 3 points. They got
Yeah.
like this penalization because they lie. I don't remember. I think they lied about like someone, like a player's age or something like that. So that, like, breaking the rules, of course, made a certain advantage for us. That's what we thought because they did amazing in the qualifiers and they qualify like second place, But of course, like, I know, like, that involve us, like every single team of South America in that way. So you want punishment, for that. And like, and yeah. I I I understand. I understand. And it probably, when that happened in Ecuador, it was like, I'm not involved, like Colombia's not involved, I don't give a shit, I don't care. It's just like they're lying about
Yeah.
something else. But at the end, yeah, like, it has some influence in the game in general.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It just affects everything. It's kind of like a ripple effect. So even if it doesn't, and honestly, the city thing obviously could have affected even more, like Trevor was saying in the comments earlier. I mean, Klopp would have been even a bigger legend because he would probably have like at least like 3-4 titles if it wasn't for those rules being violated and stuff. But let's get to this weekend. Let's get to the boys. It was good to have a lot of them at practice. Like say, like McAllister getting time and all that. So away Burnley, I see people in the notes in the chat already making lineups for it, and you got to figure. I mean, we'll probably talk about it tomorrow morning in like Slots press conference and stuff like that. But Travis, what do you expect to see? We're getting into this era with the Champions League games in midweek. So, what kind of a starting 11 are you expecting against Burnley?
Oh man, you're gonna give me that task. I'm still riled up from the other two conversations. If we have time at the end, we're gonna circle back because I have a lot more to say. And Chile was robbed by that Ecuador fiasco.
Oh,
anyway,
that's right.
So there was more.
Yeah.
So I
You're
mean,
right.
What was the
Oh,
deal? They
wow,
were
look
playing
at
somebody
you.
underage, overage. What was the
no,
problem? I forgot.
so there was a Colombian-born player who played on the Ecuador side, And
Exactly.
That's what it
Ecuador
was.
forged documents to get him a passport, to get him an Ecuadorian passport quicker than possible than they should have. However, looking at the big thing, they said, you know what? He lives in Ecuador. Ecuador recognizes him as Ecuadorian. We're just going to deduct you 3 points and you go through. Albeit that did cause Chile to miss out on the World
That's
Cup.
right.
Ecuador got
Yeah.
that very last spot. And so it was a problematic for Chilean fans, of course, but nowhere near the violations that like Man City has put
Yeah,
together.
yeah, of course, of
But
course.
it absolutely impacts the fans, and so you're both right on that. As far as
Thank you, Travis.
Travis
got
is
you
like
back.
a wiki over here.
I
Wiki
got
of
you back,
international
Andrew.
football. Go ahead. Go ahead with the Burnley.
So yes, it is going to be a really challenging. Like here's my thing, because I don't think because Isak's not going to start.
No.
You know,
You
he's not.
don't?
No,
Doubt
he
it.
doesn't start. Absolutely not. No, he's not. He's not ready. It wouldn't surprise me if he gets a little bit of time. You know, but I think we're gonna see the same side that we saw against. Actually, no,
Are
that's
you
not
putting still Soboslai at right back?
true. No, because Frimpong's back.
He's practicing. I don't know if he's ready to start or
Oh.
not. He was supposed to be back in time, and I know he's at practice. I just
Yeah.
don't know, like, if he has 90 minutes in him or whatever. But
Well, yeah, does he have 90 minutes? I don't know. So per the team reports, everybody's healthy, pretty much. Gomez is healthy. McAllister, he looked a little like they mentioned some fitness issues. They didn't mention a specific injury in the Argentina match, but there was some fury because Liverpool wanted McAllister to get some rest, and they insisted they play him in an Argentinian qualifier that didn't really matter. And so his fitness is not 100%. But I think Frimpong, Zobo has been incredible. I was really hoping that my Zobo jersey came in the mail before today's, but hopefully it'll be here next week. But I think he's been incredible at right back, but we're not going to consistently start him over Frimpong. Frimpong we brought in specifically for that role. And maybe we start to see a little bit of a shift and a little more strength on that right side. So Kirkes can make greater runs up to the left, because that I hate to come down on a player only 3 games this season, but Kirkes was suspect in the Hungary match this last week. He had trouble collecting a pass, which allowed Cancelo to get a goal. He has not played to the expectations we wanted to see him at. So he's the only question mark to me right now. I think Wirtz was incredible. I think he starts. I think Ekitike, of course, starts. He came on as just a wasteful sub at the end of the France match. But Isak is going to be on the bench. I think he gets minutes at the end.
Hold on, you went all over the place. So you're starting Frimpong as right back?
Absolutely. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, then if you want my 11
let me bring you back in over here because you started going in. So
I will.
Obviously Konate, Van Dijk, right?
Yes. And then
are you starting Kirkes or no? Because I know you said okay, you are starting.
Yeah, you've got to start Kirkes. Again, you can have these question marks. You can look at his performance, and it hasn't been up to snuff over 3 games. It hasn't been terrible either, and he has little moments here and there. I think he's going to continue to build and get better. And so absolutely Kirkes and Frimpong started the back, because that's the 4 that we're building around. That's our base level.
What happened to Bradley in this mix?
I don't think Bradley,
because he was really good. I did not watch the game. From what I heard, he was really good actually in the international game. Who did they play? Was it Germany? They played Germany, didn't they? I heard he was actually really, really good that game. So he's being a little lost in the mix. I know he's not as reliable either, but I'm with Jimpo on this one. I was actually going to go the other way just because Frimpong is coming from a hamstring injury, which those always scare me, because if you come in a bit too early, you just go back to square one, and now you have even more time that you're out if somebody is rushed back. And Burnley is not the Sean Douche Burnley. It's totally different than the Sean Douche era. So it's not as like butcher football that they used to play over there. But okay, so let's keep going. So you put Frimpong at right back.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, Frimpong
And
right
midfield 3.
Yes, midfield 3: Gravenberch, Wirtz, Zoboslai, without question.
And the front 3 is the obvious front 3 because you put Isak on the bench.
Yes, with Gakpo, Salah, Ekitike. I think that's your front 3. He pronounced it correctly.
I disagree, Jimbo. It's Duke, not Daesh. I stick to it. With this brand of football, I stick to my pronunciation of his last name.
Yeah,
where is he at, by the way? Where is he?
Accuracy. Where's Sean Douche?
Where is he at? He's unemployed right now, right? Just waiting in the ranks.
Wait.
Yeah, he is waiting in the ranks. He's unemployed. So he's available for somebody who's, if you're interested in going around kicking people, Sean Douche is available to be your coach. Okay, Audrey, your starting 11 for the Burnley game.
I feel the same about Kirkis. Like it's too, and I think we talked about this like 2 weeks ago. It's just too soon to start judging, like having a real judge about players' performances. So definitely, I will say around the 10th game, we can definitely say like, nah, there's something going on, and we need to change this. We need to figure it out things. But Kirkes, I believe in him like deeply. I feel he's he's so strong. Like he's so smart, And I think it's a matter for sure of like he's still in this process of like adaptability. And
yeah. A couple of extra syllables in there, I think, but we're good.
Yeah. So I will go with him. Konate Van Dijk, exactly. Konate, oh my God. I'm so confused. All right, whatever. I don't know about Frimpong. I don't know if he's ready to start. I don't know if I will go like the opposite, probably Bradley, and then Frimpong ending the game. I'm not so sure if he's ready, like 100% ready to go back. But if he's a starter, then it's a great way to like measure how is like his injured situation, because we don't want a player that is just all the time on the bench or recovering for something for injuries. So it's not that I want him to get into the pitch to see if he's gonna get injured again, but but probably we'll go Gravenberch, Sovitos, mi amor, which he was amazing, like how and I think we didn't get the chance to talk about last week how he did it as a right back, and it was great.
Yeah, he was.
And Gakpo, Salah, Kitike.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys are putting McAllister on the bench, Is that are you just putting him just for fitness reasons, or you think?
No, fitness reasons.
Fitness reasons. Okay.
Yeah.
So if he was fit, who are you guys taking out of that midfield? Are we taking Wirtz out? Because it just does not seem like we would yet, right? It's just a bad signal to take Wirtz out and go back to your original settings. I think it's a lot easier now when Slot makes changes, because you're going to have a midweek match. So it's very easy to say, well, we were saving him for that game and using him over there and stuff like that. But if it wasn't a full week, I guess I'll ask you guys like a hypothetical. And I know it's going to depend on who we're playing against. But who is your best midfield right now, Travis, if you're starting, I don't know, against a solid team, not just like a home game against the the team that's going to play a low block.
Like now, right
now.
Who's in your guys
ready to go?
3? Yes, ready to go.
If everyone's healthy, and I mean, what a wonderful thing to debate that we have 4 incredible midfielders to fit, and that's not even counting Wataru Endo. It comes down to who you're playing. Who do I think the 3 best ones are, it's hard to, it's hard to not drop Verts. It's hard to not drop because we've splashed so much cash on Florian Verts right now, and we know what Gravenberg, we know what Zoboslai, we know what McAllister can bring to the table. But we also know that Slot likes to rotate players. He wants to have depth. He wants to have movement, and he's going to make adjustments based on the team, but also how the match is going. He's a true manager. And I think if I'm deciding, I mean, thankfully, yeah, we have a fitness, so it makes the choice a lot easier. Against a team like Burnley, where we need a little bit more aggression to crack the defense at the back, because it's true, they're a different team now. They're going to be one that tries to create a wall that we've got to crack through. It's not like Sean D's old days where we had to watch out for injuries and watch them for that counter punch. And I know I'm going off topic again, but
here we go.
Man, this is I don't know. I really wish if I have, okay, you know what? Let's make a decision right now, because it's hard for me to not pick Szoboszlai. Beginning of the season, Szoboszlai is the one I leave behind. Considering all of his performance.
Wait 1 second. I'm gonna help you.
Oh, I love gonna bring a Szoboszlai jersey or something. Or Szoboszlai is in the background.
Like, I hope so.
He's gonna bring
Szoboszlai out in the bathrobe. He's brushing his teeth. And he's like, what, Travis is gonna drop me? No.
Szoboszlai's gonna come out with like a towel around his waist coming out of the shower.
Audrey, did he leave that at your house last night? Be honest. COVID.
Yeah, she was sick. Yeah, it's become that though, right? Like in the beginning of the season, people were like, "Oh, is Szoboszlai gonna play on this team?" and stuff like that. And then after 3 games, we kind of, I think we all knew his value in terms of running. We sometimes did not like what he did on the ball in certain situations and stuff like that. We knew the value of his running, but now we're kind of seeing the value of his like versatility in terms of like the number of positions he can play, throw right back into that mix. I don't think we ever, like, that was not in the bingo cards, but anywhere on midfield, he can do the defensive role. He can do the attacking role. Are we almost, Audrey, force feeding Wirtz because of the price tag? Because Travis is struggling to take him out. And I understand that because of the money, but is that pretty much at this point, it's ridiculously obnoxious to write him off or anything like that, because we've seen what he can do. But at this point, I almost feel like when people try to put Wirtz in there, the only thing to justify it, aside from potential perhaps, is the price.
The money?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, we're doing great. We have money right now. So So it's not like, I understand that I wasn't here from the beginning and I didn't see like Liverpool struggling, in like the very beginning of Klopp's era, that he was just like trying to move his features, whatever, with his nails, like with what he had. But I don't know.
It
is. I'll ask the chat too, because I feel like that's what we're doing a little bit. And I realize here's the thing: benching him sends a bad message for his adaptabilityness, right? As Audrey would say. But at the same time, so like morale-wise and stuff, it's probably not good. But at the same time, is that fair to Szoboszlai or McAllister and stuff like that to be like not get the starting role? And look, this is just hypothetical, because I think Jimbo or someone was saying that, we have 3 games all the way till January. So there's always going to be midweek games. So this is not going to be as obvious that this is our best midfield kind of a thing for quite some time. But Sir Z says Burnley is where he shines. I think Champions League is where he really shines. But I don't know. I get the feeling that when we're all struggling to come up with the midfields, it's actually very clear, but we're trying to work him in maybe to get the best out of him because we know the potential.
I just made my mind. Actually, I will bench him. Like, I will bench. Yeah, for Premier. Yeah. big for Premier, because you said something great, and it was Timo, and you said
Oh,
probably he's gonna shine.
Travis thought it was him for a second. He was getting all excited. And it's like, sit down, I got this.
You guys, you, come on.
Yeah, sorry, I said something great. Let's cherish this moment.
About Champions League.
Oh, okay.
And I will bench him because Slot has no problem benching players that are not performing as the team needs. And yes, he costs us a lot of money, but it will be unfair with midfielders like Maka, to um just keep putting a player that is still struggling and is still like not struggling, but like, yeah, no, it's struggling,
Struggling, yeah.
to yeah, certain um to make the game, like to make I now I am blocked. But like, yeah, because it's really hard to
Go
take him
back to the
out,
parts where I said something
no,
great.
no, no. Let's be clear. Let's tune into last week's podcast. If we listen to last week's podcast on last Thursday, I believe there was someone in the podcast who said Wirtz's best football, even at Leverkusen, was during the Champions League. And I don't think it was.
Was that me again? Did I say something great again?
Who was it? Who was it who said that? Yeah. Hold on, let me just update my headline here.
Jimbo says Slot is a ruthless character who bench who likes when he wants, and I think it's a
Yeah.
match. A lot
Good,
of like
we need
horses
that.
for
Yeah.
courses. Horses
That's
for
what we
courses
need.
kind of a deal. I'm just trying to make it difficult on you guys by picking up a situation where you
What
have
about
to
you?
pick a midfield.
What about you? Because
about
we were
me? What about me?
sweating. We were sweating, like trying to find like a
Yeah.
solution.
I honestly think, in all like fairness, based on when you watch the game and when you are picking a starting 11 from just watching the game on the pitch, I hate to say it, you probably go to last year's midfield. Maybe it's the familiarity of them working together. Because, like I say, right now we're forcing in Wirtz mainly due to the price tag. So that's why we're struggling. And I think Tony was saying, like that, this is why Slots makes a decision. It's a lot easier now, though, I think, for Slot to make these decisions because you have midweek games. So whoever does not play, like against Burnley, that's fine, because he's gonna go and start against Atletico midweek and stuff. There's probably, a person that we're not throwing in because he's the most divisive player in the squad right now is probably Curtis Jones, that you can throw in the mix in terms of putting in midfield as well, because he was really, really good against Arsenal. No one will talk about it because there's a ongoing agenda against Jones here and there, but he was excellent against Arsenal as well. So he'll be in the mix, I think, between these games. But if we're picking up someone right now, I feel it's almost unfair. Mind you, McAllister has not played great so far this season, but we kind of know the fitness issues. We said as a premise, everybody's fit.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. We don't live in a vacuum. It is all about play. Because you're dead on about Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones is exactly what we needed. He was a difference maker in the Arsenal match. He caused them to broke up their possession. He gave us a little bit more control on the field. Exactly. Jimbo said he freshened up the midfield and made a huge impact. Would I say Curtis Jones is one of the top best three midfielders on our team? No. Is he one of the best four midfielders on our team? No. But he makes a difference. And that's what we're seeing. I think Burnley, Wirtz starts. You two are out of your minds. It's it's not about the money. Look at his performance with Germany. Look at what he brought onto the field. He's going to bring that. Him and Kirkes are going to have breakout games against Burnley, because that's what we need against these teams. Kirkes has been way too aggressive. He is trying too hard. He is trying to stomp down players, and it's pulling him out of position. Against Burnley, we're going to need that performance. It's the same with Wirtz. I think McAllister, I wonder, I maybe fitness or not, I maybe keep him on the bench for this game, because I think Zobo and Frimpong are going to tear up the right side. I think Kirkes and Wirtz are going to tear up the left side. They're going to absolutely pick Burnley apart this weekend. I think it's a 4-0 win. I really do. I think we're going to absolutely smash Burnley, and we're going to see Wirtz, Kirkes, Frimpong, and Zobo just light the world up. I think it's going to be an incredible match.
I was about to ask score predictions on the way out, so you already gave it to us. 4-0, huh?
4-0. Boom. Calling it.
Beat that, Audrey. What do you have? What do you have for your score prediction?
I have 2-0. 2-0.
I was going with the slot special 2-0. It'll be interesting. I can see Travis's scenario, especially if we get an early goal or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. I think this international break came in a good time. I mean, like Jimbo and Cameron are talking about, like, you know, like Wirtz and what we need. I think Slots will have time. I know they can practice together, but I think Slots had time and his crew to figure out, now that we have a good sampling size of Premier League matches with these guys against really tough opposition in Bournemouth, Newcastle, and Arsenal, I think they will find ways to get more out of Wirtz. Because I would think that would be I mean, Audrey, you would think if they went to this international break,
Yeah.
before the Arsenal game, they could have talked about, we got to defend the set pieces better. We're kind of like realizing now that's more focused than anything else, and all that kind of like defensive. I think we did well against Arsenal and all that.
Yeah.
I would think going into this international break, if they sit in the meeting room and say, this is what we got to work on, I would think the biggest thing would be, how are we going to use Isak, and how do we get more out of Wirtz?
Yeah.
It has to be the top two topics.
Yeah. No doubt. And especially, you guys are right. Okay, no maca. Okay. And especially talking about like the international break. So yeah, probably they are gonna talk, and like the main concern of everyone, to be honest, is it's Wirtz right now, you know? Because like this is, as Travis said, this is a great game for Wirtz and Kirkes to just prove or just like reinforce the idea of like, yes, we're here for these reasons, and you guys are good, and we're gonna be good for the rest of the season. So probably yeah, after the international break, like Maka looked good, to be honest, but come on, it was against Ecuador, and you know they were already qualified, so he wasn't like so into like in his 100%, but he looked good. But it's a good game to prove Beards. You guys are right, and I think that's what's
Hope you
gonna
say you guys.
happen.
He's the one who keeps pushing the Wirtz agenda over here.
Yeah, he convinced us. Like, what's happening? How we pass
Excellent.
from that to the like from this to that? Like,
I know. I mean,
don't know.
that's the thing, though. Soboslai, but you did still Frimpong. It'll be interesting to see. This is we're entering a weird group of games over here, especially with like the Everton game coming up as well, Palace away, and obviously like the Champions League and stuff like that. So
I can't wait for Champions League. Oh my god.
yeah, I can. But the first game I'm not too big of a fan of, but I do think we'll see more rotation and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward in that sense. I think Sergi was saying it before too in the comments that, you know, Slots last year did not really rotate a lot, but I do think this year, Travis, he has more players he trusts to be able to rotate. I just feel like last year you can have people on the bench, but if you don't trust them to go out there and do the same job or whatever, you're not going to put him in.
You're absolutely right. I mean, he did not have the depth last year. We had injury concerns last year. Like, lest we forget, we lost quite a few players for a few weeks. Slot didn't, and also his first year as a Liverpool coach, coming into again that Klopp mentality, the mentality monsters that, hey, I've picked you or my starting 11. You are going to play 180 minutes in 90. You're going to get out there. You're going to give everything. And, you know, you're my kids. You're my babies. You're my club babies. And now Slot is spoiled for choice on depth. He can make rotations. He can make these adjustments. And that is what we like to see. He doesn't have I'm not going to say he doesn't have loyalty. That's not the right word. He has no qualms about swapping out Mo Salah, swapping out a big player if he thinks it's going to have a proper impact to the game. And here's the thing is none of our players have the egos to reject a swap. They all understand their performance. Look at Chiesa. This is why I have so much respect for Chiesa. Is when he was called up by Italy, and I mentioned this last week as well too. He kind of subbed himself out. He's like, I'm not at the right fitness level to be there. And the players have this honest understanding of where they are, where their standing is with the team, and they're all team focused. And so Slot,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's not just a matter of depth. It's a matter of each player's understanding, no ego. They're all focused on getting wins for this Liverpool squad. They really are, Liverpool. They're Liverpool as a team through and through.
I mean, Jimbo says he has a bigger selection of quality. I mean, that's another thing. Like, we saw him last year starting, like, he was subbing Audrey, like, in, like, the 60th minute or so. The first, like, 5-10 games I want to see, if you go back, he was subbing both backs. Like, he would take Robertson out, he would take Trent out, and he would put Costas in and stuff like that. Well, once you do a couple of those experiments and you're like, hey, we're suddenly dropping from, like, the starting 11 to the backups, you're going to eventually say, first I'll sub in the 70th. Maybe I just won't sub at all because this is causing a drop off, as opposed to, like, he was trying to keep people fresh and stuff probably. But I think Jimbo is right where they have a lot more depth now, where he will trust more players and we will see more rotation compared to last year.
Yeah. Definitely will be. That's why I'm excited to watch Champions League, because I have the feeling that we can definitely take the title this year for that reason, because we're gonna have fresh players for both tournaments, so I don't know, man. I'm so excited.
She's waiting for the Champions League.
Well,
Yeah.
Let's burn you guys either way first. Go ahead, Travis.
Look at Slot's very first match. If you remember, very first Liverpool match was against Ipswich, and he pulled Kwanzaa off halftime. And it was something to where it was a huge thing that people talked about. And even Kwanzaa was like, really? Like, wow, that's harsh to pull. But then we win 2-0. We came back. It made a big, huge difference in the match. And it kind of set the tone from that moment on. And it was not one where Slot was like, it's my way or the highway, or I decide how this is going to go. And no player is more important than the coach. No, it's all about Slot's tactics. And he made that abundantly clear to the players. It is team first. He gives valid, incredible logical reasoning behind why he pulls a player off. It's not about emotions. It's not about feelings. And I think every single player on the Liverpool squad knows they deserve to be there. And that's why he can make these substitutions. That's why he has the depth that he has.
Yeah, I think the depth will help. I agree with Audrey as well, especially in the Champions League. It felt like, especially like, for example, against PSG and stuff like that, it just did not have as far. At least like when we went to overtime and stuff like that, you just had a drop off. Whereas you look now, we can't come up with a midfield three, leaving a couple of like really quality players on the bench who can come in fresh. Like, so Jones can come in fresh, or maybe McAllister, or maybe Wirtz can come in fresh, whoever you're benching or whatever. But that's it for us today. Thanks a lot, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks to all those in the chats. Hit the thumbs up and all that good stuff down below. And then I'll be back tomorrow morning with the Reckless gang. But tonight, the Ball Crew is on. So do tune in for that, 7 p.m. Central, 8 o'clock Eastern for the Thursday Night Podcast. Have a great Thursday, everybody. And we'll see you guys soon. Take care.